Let us discuss about the vapor pressure of some of the liquid solutions. What do you mean by this vapor pressure? Just you are going to take an example of the petrol, diesel, right, and kerosene like this. What happens? The petrol and diesel, when you kept open to the atmospheric, what happens? They will be going to evaporate, right? So that is called in the vaporized form, right? So that we are going to discuss here vapor pressure. So because of their boiling point is very less, you just compare with the water and these petrol and diesel. When you kept open these three, so the water will not evaporate very easily. It takes much time. But what happens? The petrol, diesel under this atmospheric temperature only, they are going to evaporate. So that is called a pressure which is going to be exerted there. So that is called vapor pressure. Let us discuss about the definition. The pressure which is going to be exerted by the vapors above the liquid surface in equilibrium with the liquid at a given temperature, that we are going to call as the vapor pressure of a liquid. So I mean, just I am going to tell that in one word. This is a container. I am going to take in molecules. I am going to take in molecules at a given certain temperature. So when I apply the heat, what happens? These molecules, they are arranged in systematic way that when I apply the temperature, they are going to escape from the surface. So this is called a surface of the liquid. So when I heat it one, I mean at a given temperature, the vapors, the pressure which will be going to be exerted by here. When I am going to heat this one, the pressure which is going to be exerted by these molecules, the liquid surface in equilibrium with the liquid at a given temperature. At this surface, they are going to eliminate here like this. They are going to eliminate here at a given temperature. So that is called as vapor pressure. Let us discuss about the factors. What are the factors which affect on this vapor pressure of the liquid solution? First one, that is called nature of the liquid solution. Nature of the liquid solution. So nature of liquid is, I am going to take an example as the water and dimethyl ether. Dimethyl ether. So what happens here? This is the one nature of, right? So here you are going to see this. This is the hydrogen bond. This is the strong bond will be there. So hydrogen and oxygen and hydrogen, right? So here what happens due to this hydrogen bonding? So water takes to evaporate a minimum 100 degrees Celsius, right? But what about this one? Dimethyl ether. So it takes very less temperature to evaporate. Because of this, there is no strong bond here. So here hydrogen bonding will be there, but here there is no hydrogen bond, right? There is no hydrogen bond. It is going to evaporate very easily. So that's why the nature of the liquid also depends upon the vapor pressure of the liquid solution. And second one will be temperature. This is also very important. That is called temperature. As you can see here, when I am going to heat the substance of the given liquid, so they are in a systematic way. So when I apply the heat, the pressure which is going to be exerted by the surface of the liquid, then they are going to form the vaporized form, right? So I mean, when the temperature goes on increases, the vapor pressure of the liquid also increases. So it is directly proportional here. Temperature is directly proportional to this vapor pressure of the liquid. Let us study the further vapor pressure of the solution as a two types. That is called, one is liquid solution, another one is solid in a liquid solution. I mean here the solute containing the liquid and as well as solvent containing the liquid solution. So and how they are, though we are going to find the vapor pressure of the solution of the volatile liquids. I mean these two liquids, one is solute and solvent containing the volatile liquids. So let us take again here. So this is one dark line and this is an normal sphere, right? So this indicates that they are called, both are the liquids only. This dark line indicates the solute. Here solute is nothing but the liquid. This is solvent. Solvent is nothing but the liquid. I am going to write like this. So this is an solvent. This is an solute. So when these liquids we are going to take in a container in a closed vessel, what happens? The pressure which is going to be exerted when you are going to heat or anything, the pressure will be exerted. So those pressures of we are going to call as, for a solvent I am going to write a PA, and for the solute I am going to write as a PB. So because of the total pressures, right? These total pressures which will be exerted that above the surface of the liquid, above the surface of the liquid, I mean they are going to called as a vaporized form. Then total pressure is equal to PA plus PB. So these are the component A and and B as a component. Here A is a solvent, B is a solute, right? So let's come discuss with this one. So this statement is given by the Raoult's law. So Raoult's law, in case of the vapor pressure of the solution which containing the two volatile liquids. So these are the two volatile liquids. Then only they are going to form the vaporized form, right? So you can take petrol, diesel. So these are also called as vapor will be there. Vapor will be there means they are called volatile liquids. According to this statement, the partial vapor pressure of each component of the solution is directly proportional to the mole fraction present in the solution. So that is called PA, that is called vapor pressure of one component, that is called solvent, and another is PV is equal to, this is called one component, that is called solute. PV directly proportional to XB. Right? This is according to this statement. I am going to remove this proportional constant, that is PA is equal to PA naught into XA, and this PB is equal to XB into P naught B. And also I am going to term here Raoult's law, the vapor pressure of each component that must be equal to the product of the pure component of the solution. This is called pure component and mole fraction. And two types we are going to term according to the Raoult's law. That is PA is equal to PA naught into XA, PB is equal to XB into PB naught. So in order to remove this proportional constant, right? This PA naught and PB naught, they are going to call as the partial vapor pressure of the components, whereas this PA and PB is going to call as the partial vapor pressure of the components A and B. So now we are going to see here, this is total pressure which is going to be exerted when two liquids are taken in a closed vessel. Right, that is PA plus PB. Where is that PA? This is PA plus PB. Now I am going to add here. It is called total pressure that must be equal to PA plus PB. What is the value of PA? PA is equal to PA naught into XA plus PB. What is the value of PB? XB into PB naught. Now we have added this one. That is called total pressure. One for the component A, one for the component B. And you know that the unity, that is called 1 is equal to XA plus XB. When you add this mole fraction of the two different components, then you are going to get the unity, right? So now I am going to take the value of XB. XB is nothing but the 1 minus XA is equal to XB. Now I am going to substitute the value of XB here. That is PT is equal to PA naught into XA as it is plus XB. In terms of XB, I am going to write as 1 minus XA into PB naught. The total pressure that must be equal to PA naught into XA plus PB naught minus PB naught into XA. So what are the common things here? The common things are nothing but the XA, and here XA will be common in there. So I am going to remove this one. So that is XA, I am going to take a common out from this one. So what is the remaining effort? PA naught minus PB naught. PA naught minus PB naught. So when I remove this XA, PA naught minus PB naught, what is the remaining? That remaining is PB naught. So we are going to take common out as an XA. Yes, let's further continue here. So we got the total pressure here. So when this is possible only when PA naught that must be greater than the PB naught. So that is when we put the XB is equal to 1 minus XA. And similar condition that is also possible, that is PT is equal to XB into PB naught minus PA naught plus PA naught. Then when it is possible, this is possible only when PB naught that must be greater than the PA naught, like this. Where XA we are going to put the value as 1 minus XB. So now we are going to consider this only now here. So let's plot some diagrams. So you know this, when you look at this one, PA is equal to, that is what according to Raoult's law, the vapor pressure of the component that must be equal to the product of the partial vapor pressure of the component, pure component, and mole fraction of the component, right? So this is in the form of Y. This is Y, that is called mx. That is called Y is equal to mx form. This is also Y is equal to mx form. What about this form? That is Y is equal to mx plus c. So this is Y is equal to mx. This is called whole term. We are going to call it the mx. M is nothing but this one. X is nothing but the XA plus c is nothing but this PB naught. Like this. That is, I am going to draw the Y axis first. This is Y axis and this is called x-axis. This y-axis containing what? Partial vapor pressure, right? This is containing the vapor pressure, that is called PA. That is called PA, and this is containing the mole fraction, that is called XA, right? So this mole fraction PA is equal to PA naught into XA, right? So this is y-axis, this is x-axis. Now look at here, I am going to put the possible values. That is first one, XA is equal to 0, and here I am going to take one more, XA is equal to 1. You should substitute the value here. When put XA is equal to 0 in this equation, PA, now I am going to take PA is equal to P naught A into XA. So when I put the value of 0 into anything, that is PA is equal to 0. Now I am going to put in the value XA is equal to 0. This is 0. What about PA? PA will be 0. This point comes here, right? When XA is equal to 0, PA is equal to 0. Now I am going to substitute the value of XA is equal to 1. XA is equal to 1. Now I am going to put 1. That is called, this is one condition. And one more, PA is equal to. When I put XA is equal to 1, it becomes PA is equal to PA naught. That is, PA is equal to PA naught when XA is equal to 1, right? So now I am going to draw one more y-axis. This line containing the P naught A. Why? When we are going to put the value of XA, mole fraction of one component, that is equal to 1. Now we are going to put XA is equal to 1, that is equal to PA is equal to PA naught. This PA is equal to PA naught. Now we got here. So right, now I am going to join this point. So I am going to place like this here point. Now I am going to join this one. So this line, it indicates the partial pressure of the component A. This is partial pressure of the component A. So till it is not end here, because this is for one component. Another component is there, that is called PB is equal to PB naught into XB. So now I am going to write the value of XB is equal to 1 here and XB is equal to 0 here. When I put this line now indicates this is partial pressure, right? This PB that must be equal to this one XB. Now it is also XB line. Now I am going to take this y-axis as a PB and x-axis as a XB. Similarly, like this one, right? So we are going to get like this graph, and now we are going to get like this graph, right? Then when you put the value of XB is equal to 0, when you put the value of XB is equal to 0, that is nothing but PB is equal to 0. PB is equal to 0. Where it comes, this is an PB line. This is partial pressure of the component B. Here will be 0 will be there, right? When XB is equal to 0, PB is equal to 0, right? Next, when XB is equal to 1, put the value of XB is equal to 1. What happens? PB is equal to PB naught. Where it comes, XB is equal to 1, then PB is equal to PB naught. Now I am going to place the point here. This is called PB naught. Why I am going to write like this? One PA naught I have taken above this one. I am taking this PB naught slightly below this one. Why? Because of our condition tells that like this. Always PA naught there must be greater than the PB naught. So this is called, this value is called the PA naught value, and this value is called the PB naught value. Which one will be greater? PA naught will be greater. That's why I am going to mention it as above this one. Now I am going to join this one. So this is called partial pressure of the component B. This component A and this component B. So now I am going to add these two. That is called total vapor pressure of the solution. When we are going to take this solute as well as the solvent in a closed vessel, that is called total pressure which is going to be exerted by these liquids. So this is the graph indication of this rod stop. That is called liquid solution. Let us move towards the second case. Let us discuss about the second case, that is called solids in liquids. In first case we have seen that so both are the liquid solution. Here we are going to add the solid in liquids. So that is called the vapor pressure of the solutions of a solid in liquid. That is also called as relative lowering vapor pressure. So let's just take it. This is a container. So in this container the pure solvent will be there. This is our pure solvent. So when the pressure which is going to be exerted, right, when we are going to heat this compound, the pressure which will be going to exerted, that forms the vapor phase, right? This is called the vapor phase. So these are the pure solvent. When you are applying some heat, when you apply some pressure right, in terms of the heat. So what happens? This will be which will be gets above this surface liquid. The vapor will be formed here. That is called PA naught value. Right? That is called PA naught because of this pure solvent. So in this case, what happens? The more number of the solvent molecules which will be escaped from this surface of this liquid, because this is a liquid solution, right? So liquid as a solute as well as liquid as the solvent here. But whereas in case that is called solids and liquids, now I am going to take this container. So in this container I am going to take solvent as well as the solute. But you should remember that solvent in this vapor pressure, solvent must be always liquid. How to differentiate this with this as solid, and because solids and liquids, right? So I am going to differentiate like this. This dark line I am going to make it as a solute, that is called non-volatile solute. So this is called a non-volatile solute and this is called a volatile solvent. What happens? They are going to evaporate very easily. So what happens now? This is called the solvent. That is called solvent and this is called the solute. That is called non-volatile solute. So what happens when the one time here the pressure when you are going to heat that substance, pressure will be going to exerted. So what happens from this above the surface, some of the vapor phase of the gas will be formed here. But what happens comparing to this liquid in liquid solution, this is solid in liquid solution. What happens here? The more number of the solvent molecules which escape from this surface. But here, whereas here only less number of the solvent molecules which get escaped from the surface of the liquid, because of the reason that it is called non-volatile solute. Because of this reason here the pressure will be going to decrease here. It is called relative lowering vapor pressure. As the name indicates, pressure which will be going to exerted by these molecules very lower, but whereas here higher. The solute is this solid and solvent is the liquid. This is the reason. So according to the Rod's law, I am going to write as this is the pressure P is equal to only one component I am going to take here, that is called PA is equal to partial vapor pressure of this component A, that is equal to XA mole fraction and PA now. Now I am going to substitute XA as 1 minus XP because you know this relation XA plus XP is equal to 1 means now XA here will be there, therefore XA is equal to 1 minus XP. Now I am going to substitute here, so that is PA, or I am going to write directly as P only, that is equal to, because P is equal to PA, right? That is equal to XA. XA means 1 minus XP into PA now. And here P is equal to, when you are going to multiply this one, PA naught into 1, PA naught minus PA naught into XP. That is called XP into PA naught. So now what happens? The negative term becomes a positive term. So this comes here. That is called XP into PA naught. That is equal to here PA naught minus this will be P. So now I am going to take this one. That is called XP. XP is equal to PA naught minus P divided by PA naught. So this is called relative lowering vapor pressure of the solution. So this relation we are going to call as the relative lowering vapor pressure of the solution. So when it will happen? When you are going to add the solute in solvent, because only less number of solvent molecules will escape from this surface of the liquid. So therefore, according to Rod's law, we are going to term as the relative. This is called relative lowering of the vapor pressure. So according to Rod's law, this relative lowering of the vapor pressure, that must be equal to the mole fraction. So when you are going to add the solute into the solvent. So this is the second case, that is called solids in liquids.